GCUD family, it's your princess. Season of Strife 5 is around the corner. War of the last snows, and in my today's video I will explain you the new classes system, how everything works, and show you the new in-game policies. I will also tell you which will be the class I will pick in the upcoming season, and I will share some special tricks with you how you can use the classes system even more efficient, so stay tuned. Welcome to my Season 5 guide for Call of Dragons, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like on the video and share it with your friends. Let's start with the new season feature, the classes system. You can pick one of the 4 classes, Warlord, Herbalist, Engineer and Druid, and you can get some additional buffs if you choose one of that classes, because every one of that classes has some proficiencies where you see here it is kind of like a little bit a sub policy you can choose. And it is important to know, if you want to change your class during the season, there is a cooldown of 72 hours, so keep that in mind. You always, when you choose a class, you have to go with that for another 3 days. And I made this checklist for you about the class system, how everything works and what you need to know. So in case you want to screenshot it, here are all the important information about the mechanics of this new feature in the Season 5. Let's take a look at the sub-policies of a class, because here you can get some extra buff and you can up-level them during the season. And the up-leveling is working during that proficiency points. You can get a total of 25 proficiency points during the season by enacting policies or completing certain Argostone stages. And that 25 proficiency points allows you to fully unlock one top tree and one bottom tree of the sub-policies of a class. If you want to read that, your sub-policies here, keep in mind you have here a 24 hours cooldown as well. To activate this extra buffs, you need another currency called AP. You recover 1 AP every 30 minutes. You can speed that up a little bit more during the policies. And you need to spend this AP to cast proficiencies. So only when you have enough AP, you can cast this. And then you will just click here on cast and it shows you the cost. And then for a limited time, you get all these extra buffs you unlocked here via your proficiency points. I don't want to make this video too long with going over every class, so what I will do right now is I click one by one through the possibilities that people who are not in Season 5 yet can see what are the different buffs, what can they choose in between, so they can prepare in advance for the new season what classes they want to choose. And I will also show you which is my choice, what will I pick for the upcoming season, and I will explain you why I go for that class. And I will also show how you can use your farm accounts additional, because that is in this season very valuable. If you have farm accounts, you can get some classes for them as well. And then you can get, for example, some extra elixir you can send to your main account. You can give your legions which are going on the field some special extra fighting buffs. And that is, in my opinion, super valuable. I will definitely pick the Warlord class for myself, because the stewardship skill here for the next 30 minutes, lightly wounded units in your legions are healed after battle. The healing rate is equivalent to 50% of enemy units that the legion defeated in the battle. Up to 1 million lightly wounded units can be healed each time. That is very similar to the Race of Remedy we had in Season 3, and that was so valuable because it saves you a lot of stamina when you can just last longer on the field. So that is for me definitely the way I want to go. And then additional you can get here reduces the cooldown, you can reduce the AP cost for it. Here I will pick increases the duration of the stewardship, because I have more profit out of that than when I just increase the healing, because the healing is anyway capped. So for that I will just go for the duration. And here legions receive 5% fewer self wounded units while stewardship is active. Saving self staff wounded is so good for your hospital, so I definitely will pick this one. The other one gives you more merits, but I think I'm very active, so I anyway get my merits. Then we have here additional damage buffs, which are huge. Every 300k dead units in your ossuary gives you additional 1% damage buff up to 10%. I will not fully max this, but some whales probably will, and you have to have 3 million dead troops for the full 10% damage buff. That is kind of crazy, but at least for every 300k we help with reinforcing bastions and rallying bastions, we get additional damage bonus. So here for the resource healing, that is very interesting. Every 1 million T4 plus unit you resource heal give you a 1% damage bonus as well, up to 10%. That means after you heal 10 million resource healing troops tier 4 plus, you get the full 10% damage buff. Here I will choose the march speed 10% because the other skill is not relevant for the fighting, but I will definitely reset at the end of the season to this skill over here. Increases proportion of units revived in the ossuary by 3%. 3% more dead troops back is always amazing, so we definitely go for a late reset in the season when the fighting is over. And here I will choose reduces cost of resource healing by 5% because I do resource heal every season and that saves me a lot of mana, so I definitely go for this, and this skill is in my opinion not very valuable. Now we come to the special tips. For one of my farms I will definitely take the Herbalist class because here grants 30 to 50k elixir and 2 elixir boxes which can be gifted to other players. So it is important to know that every main account can only receive 1 elixir box each day. So you need only 1 farm by yourself and you can send yourself every day an elixir box via that skill. For my other farms, I will probably pick here the Druid because after a short charge up, 5 Alliance Legions surrounding the Legion gain attack plus 10% for 15 minutes while in the field. And you can increase here additional the attack buff, and what you can also hear the number of charges, 3 more Legions can gain this buff effect. So this is something you want to have on other farm accounts, and then you can buff yourself, your main account and some other alliance members, and you get that extra attack buff for free. Let's check out the new season 5 policies. At the beginning you can choose in between CP, prestige gain and stamina limit bonus. Because I don't reset my policies, I definitely go from the beginning for the stamina bonus. Then here, that is early in the game, increase the number of available proficiency points. It is good to max that very early because then you can use them and buff already the class you chose. And here you have the Legion capacity bonus. Here we have the daily resource healing. Here we have the daily elixir production. We have another resource healing cost reduction up to 10%. Here you can get another Warped Warrant. This is a new policy that will become very valuable when the fighting is kind of over and you have a lot of leftover prestige. You can use 100k prestige, and for the next 6 hours you get a 10% more gold, wood or mana, so that is kind of a gather buff you can use. Then we have this one that is for the AP points, and here you can see increases the max AP capacity, and here you can increase the AP recovery speed. Then we have here, like always, you can choose in between elixir capacity and elixir speed. I mostly go for the speed when you know that you have a season with a lot of fighting. The same you have here for the resource healing. Then we get here, it is the same amount like always. You get additional the 20%, what brings your ossuary to 50% back of the dead troops, plus 3% from the classes system. Here we have another new policy, what costs 100k prestige as well. For the next 30 minutes, the CP cost of attacking Darklings and Darkling forts is reduced by 10%. That is something as well when the fighting is over you can think about to use your prestige on. Here you can choose in between the counter infantry buff and the counter cavalry buff, and you can choose in between the counter marksman and counter mages buff. Then we have here another Legion capacity. Here you get more Warped Warrants, and then we have Make Way Back. Here we have the healing policies. I will definitely take myself the Diligence. The reason why I do that is the stamina limit bonus of 50% and the resource healing cost reduction of 20%. So for me, that is always very clear that I will take Diligence because I do resource healing a lot during a KVK. When we look at Reprieve, you can see here the buffs as well. I think that is is also a very, very good choice, especially for a very low spender or a free-to-play elixir capacity limit plus 100% and a daily elixir production. Looks very good to me. And then we have Benevolence. Here you have the daily elixir production and you have a higher capacity limit of 50% and you get prestige gain 10% at the beginning. Then we have the normal rallied army and garrison damage you can increase over here. Then we have here additional the elixir healing policies and the resource healing policies. Then we have the bitter end, we know that all, where you can get an extra damage buff when you risk maybe to get more dead troops. And then there is something new here, spend 10 prestige to gain 1 elixir. And that is definitely where I'm gonna spend my prestige that season, because I rather take here the elixir than I spend my prestige later for some CP reduction or for some extra get a buff. In my opinion, I prefer fighting, and if we have a lot of wars going on, I definitely go here and exchange my additional prestige I have over for elixir. This way able to fight longer on the field. So that's pretty much it about the new season of Strife 5, War of the Last Snows. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like, share it with your friends. I'm looking forward to our new season. I'm super hyped. Tonight we go into the new map and I can't wait. We get from Brink of War here, we made it to rank 1, so we get the 3% extra damage buff for the season. I feel like that needs to be increased in future because we get so many free damage buff with the new features, etc. So they maybe should think about adjust a little bit here Brink of War, that it's even more attractive in future to go here for some pushes. We are ready for the season, and yes, all I can say is I'm looking forward. We meet so many new people this time and I'm super excited to get to know each other and have a lot of fun together. I will definitely live stream this season a lot, so stay tuned. Happy gaming and much love, your princess.